There's two people that are getting ready to be hurt here. The pre-existing 15-year-old Bitcoiners, everybody that's been here before. First off, I do not believe that much money was retained in the last 15 years. I know there are some real wealthy people out there, okay? But they are few and far between. And every one of them will tell you, hey, I left $1 billion on the table. I got clever. I bought 10,000 Bitcoin. I took 4,000 of them. I started investing in companies. None of them produced a profit. All they had to do was just sit on the Bitcoin, write books, study about new markets. Instead, they were talking about, they focused on their own little tribe. And very few people, when I came in here, understood anything about the financial markets. Like I came in here and people are going, it has to go to the consumer in Nairobi and Africa. I'm like, markets don't adopt that way, dude. You don't go from wholesale to retail. You go wholesale markets, intermediaries, people taking risk, and then Joe Consumer buys it one day. And who cares if he's got to buy it at $1 for 100 Satoshis? Like this is the way the system works. It's still going to be more valuable. Okay. He will get Satoshis. I mean, quite frankly, if somebody started selling Satoshis, like somebody should just open up a trading platform on Coinbase and literally go, I'm selling Satoshis. They're half a penny a freaking Satoshi, or a tenth of a penny. The market would go nuts, dude. People would be like, oh, wow, this is mini Bitcoin. Now, you don't want to educate them that way, but, they're effectively buying a mini Bitcoin because they seem to be incapable of understanding, I got it. You can't buy a fraction of a house, which 40 years ago, if you could have bought a house for 70, 90 grand, you'd have been like, my God, man, I'm buying 10 of them. If you could buy a franchise, Popeye's franchise costs $3 million. I look at Bitcoin and go, that is the most awesome franchise in the world. It doesn't have any cash flow. Most Popeye's fried chickens don't either, by the way. It doesn't have any stinky, sweaty teenagers that are throwing shit in the frying. It doesn't have any human beings to mess up the equipment. You don't have any equipment. You don't have to supply a building with power and water and then hire people to clean it. Oh, and then when that car wrecks into you at 2 a.m. in the morning, all your business is down for 3 days. And when the flood comes and there's no customers, when COVID comes, I don't know of a better damn private equity investment business vehicle that's going to increase every 4 years by 30, 40, 50, 100, 200%. And everybody tells me they want to own a business. Well, dude, buy Bitcoin. It's a business without any human error or any human headaches, right? It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of no-brainers. Look, we're at a time now, you guys were expecting to be here. This is the moment. It's happening. You're getting ready to get front run now. The music's changing. The musical chairs, we have been able to front run governments. Like you still have an opportunity. Do you think the government, Brandon, cares if they pay $150,000 or $1 million for Bitcoin? In fact, the super rich would rather it be high priced. Okay. I mean, Zuckerberg, I think I'll take 2 yachts. Okay. Well, that's about 3,000 or 4,000 Bitcoin. My brother will replace his plane. That's 72 million. So that's 1,200 Bitcoin. There's 6,000 airplanes that have been sold in the last 5 years for 60, 70, 80 million dollars. There's 2,516 billionaires on the planet. They can all afford a $100 million airplane. They can afford 4. My brother got 2 helicopters and an airplane, a $40 million house in Florida, another $60 million house in Cali. These people don't think in like $600,000 homes, man. His first minimum buy will be 10 million. And I'm telling him that is dumb, dude. Might as well just not even do it. They do 100 million or walk away from this. This is either the greatest trade in the history of mankind or it's not. It's very, very, very binary here, okay? We're going to zero or we're going up forever. And you can't go to zero. It's not possible. I have bought electricity at negative prices. I bought crude oil at negative prices. I have bought natural gas at negative prices. You will never, ever be able to sell Bitcoin for negative because I'll be there bidding for all 21 million units for a penny all day long. I have a feeling you're going to be at 2 pennies. And then somebody, come on. Do you think Howard Lutnick's going to let it get to 3 cents? Dude? No chance, man. Like now we have a big enough pool. We can buy this stuff forever. Like I want my costs to go up. So there's 2 people going to get hurt. It's the old Bitcoiner who was in at 300, 3,000, 6,000, 9,000, 30,000, and he stopped buying. Oh my God, what is wrong with you, man? Like I always ask people, hey, what's your cost base? First off, very few people know, which is amateur hour. That's why I bought Node 40 and retooled the whole company. I mean, Node 40 will tell you, oh yeah, man, I'm at 40,787.22 and I've got 416 Bitcoin. Boom, that's it. Like, instant. Solana bag, this is exactly what the Solana bag is. I need no intermediaries to tell me. I don't need an auditor to tell me. I don't need Coinbase to tell me. And in fact, I can tell the IRS to fuck off because this is the exact data down to the penny. When rich people see this and begin to understand it and unwind their understanding that maybe they're not as smart as they thought they were, and that much of their wealth has been created in a super cycle of monopoly money, that's really hard for a lot of rich people to go, hey, I might have had some tailwinds here that I had nothing to do with whatsoever, right? Nothing to do with whatsoever. So I can't be more excited, man. I've been this place before and I'm telling you, there's going to be this is more than about money. We are going to cripple every cartel on the planet. And if I go into this story very long, it'll confuse the audience a little bit, but I have been here so many times now. I'm like, oh my God, man, the amount of the game theory is not just about states, other rich people and governments buying Bitcoin, starting this, carnival of musical chairs. It's actually about decentralization and transparency. When people see the power of transparency in particular, I, for one, believe that centralization is the most efficient way to do about 95% of everything. However, the only problem with centralization is you have one human being. If you shared the same God that I share, let's assume that I believe in God, whatever, and you and I share the same God, we're like, yeah, dude, we're cool with centralization as long as God, the one that you and I share, is running the show. But as soon as God gets a secretary, an HR person, a CFO, everything gets weird, man. And they have one bad quarter, everything starts getting weird. That's what we should be saying about centralization. Human centralization is a problem. AI-driven centralization with a set of codes and rules that don't change, that would be interesting. With audit and transparency on an open source blockchain, centralization will most certainly work. And that means you and I have an opportunity to be that central character, dude. That's a big role. Saylor is showing us that there's hundreds of arbitrages between Bitcoin and everything else. And he's exploiting all of them. And this is why you have to understand the old financial system. Because if you understand the old financial system, you can then begin to see, oh, wow, there's arbitrages here all over the place. And the thing that I think he's doing best, he has been absolutely an awesome spokesman for institutions. I mean, most certainly. But the amount of money that he is making for Wall Street, dude, they love Bitcoin now. Now they figured out how to take bullshit, treasury bonds, 3% margins, and turn them into 80 and 90% margins. As soon as Wall Street sees this, their confusion over Bitcoin will disappear so rapidly, it'll make your head swim. Q1 of next year.
What do you think happens here going forward as it pertains to the bond market? At the end of the day, bond market is is an instrument that is bondage, right? You are enslaving yourself to a government, and that's the definition of the bond market. So how long does this take to play out for people to kind of realize, wow, we've been hoodwinked? Like you said, this legacy system is backwards. We need to change.
If you want the answer to that question right there and you like that spicy clip, check it out here. Come on, we'll see you in there. But if you want the full interview in its entirety, all the spicy clips put together, and you're not going to want to miss it, believe me, then check that out here. Come on, we'll see you in there. Do it.